So going back to your question, so the ideal in this context is, well, we have all these amazing priests, and they're men of God, and they're going to help change society, or they're going to help bring society back to order, or they are super nice priests who are just such lovable characters. These are the images that we have in our minds. We like these images because they make us feel good. They make us feel good because they make us think that our ideal for society can actually come about, that it's actually possible. But then when you say this priest actually is a predator, he sexually assaulted a young man who was mentally vulnerable, or when you say this priest covered up for a pedophile, he preys on young men, he uses strategies as a way to get young men into certain positions so that he can sexually assault them, or this particular priest will spike your drink, make you fall asleep, and then he'll molest you. They have difficulty believing that because they don't want to believe that. Because right when they start believing that, then guess what? The ideal deteriorates.
Yeah, because they like the guy so much they wish it wasn't true, but they know it is true. They just refuse it.
It's like, and to make this more familiar, it's like if you're so desperate for a girlfriend, right, and you want female affection and love, you want it so badly, but then one day you meet a girl, she likes you. For the first time ever, you feel this euphoria that comes from female attention. But then one day, someone says, that girl, she's actually a stripper. While she's getting dinner from you, she's getting tons of money from all these dudes. She's stripping for them. Well, I don't believe that. You're lying. So then the guy's like, well, I'll drive you to the strip club. So you go to the strip joint. You see her there. Now, you can, when you're faced with that type of reality, and I've never gone through this situation before, so don't think
No. It's just a hypothetical, yeah.
So let's say you're faced with that sort of extreme reality, you can either accept it, the ideal disappears, you accept that that never existed, and you go on with your life. And you go on with your life as a slightly more experienced person. You won't fall for that sort of trap. At least you won't fall for that particular trap. You could fall for something else, but at that point you're just a little bit more smarter.
Yeah.
Or you could actually defend her. And you could say, well, maybe she's in poverty and she's desperate. Maybe she has to take care of her parents. Her parents are elderly, and she needs to make a lot of money. She needs to make enough money. And you can make those arguments to defend her, and you'll defend her so desperately. It's like you're grabbing onto a little hair. You're so desperately trying not to fall off a cliff that you're holding onto a hair. But that's what it is. It's just a little hair. It's not reality. It's your ideal becomes a hair.
Yeah. Exactly.
But you hold on to it so badly because you want it to be real. You want her to love you. You want her you want that love to be real.
Yeah, it's like, this is probably not the best example either, but it's like when you're sleeping and you have a dream that is so real, but then you wake up and it wasn't real. It's that same kind of feeling.
You have a dream that's so good.
Yes.
That you don't want to wake up.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put it. Yes, that's an excellent analogy. I'm going to use that from now on. Yes, it's like a dream that you don't want to wake up from.
And I've had plenty of those where it's like, oh man, it wasn't real. That sucks. And now I'm back in reality.
And you're back in reality. So that's what being a slave to a narrative is. It's like being in a dream that you don't want to wake up from.
That's
honestly, once you pull down the ideal and you realize that life itself is just one big giant tragedy. That's what it is. Life is a giant tragedy. I hate to sound like a pessimist or whatever, but like life is a giant tragedy. And you see some people, they have great lives, they have great families, and then you see some people and it's like, oh my God, like you feel sorry for them because like what happened? Like you meet some guy and he's married and has a kid, or he has kids and great family life, and then you see some guy, wife leaves him for some other guy, he's got 3 kids, they split the kids up and they're just living, and And you talk to those types of, and I met guys who've gone through these types of situations, and they'll say, well, she was a great woman. I felt I was in love with, and then this happened. It's like, well, where did you go wrong? You know, it's life is sad.
Yeah, it
because,
is.
Yeah.
It
The
is.
most heartbreaking verse in the Bible is when God says, through the wisdom of Solomon, he says that destruction, unfortunate events fall on the good and the bad. So good people suffer and bad people suffer alike.
Yeah.
That's why when good people suffer, it's wrong for people to think, well, what did that person do that this happened? Because sometimes good people just get screwed over.
Yeah, they do. I've seen it. And I guess I know you have other stories you could tell too, but I know we should probably be wrapping up here pretty soon because we both have stuff that we need to get to. But I'll make sure and post a link to those two videos, Ted, where people can go and hear those stories. But but one thing I did want to ask you is, like, of all that stuff that you've gone through with your experiences in the Catholic Church, I mean, I know there was hurt, but was there ever a feeling of betrayal as well, where you felt betrayed?
Um, Not with the predator priests, no, because those guys were just predators. But I did feel a sense of betrayal when Michael Boris refused to play the video that I made of me confronting that priest. Because Michael Boris is someone who, for a long time, I looked up to. You know, before I converted to Catholicism, I watched his videos pretty much every day. And I remember Boris saying, if you're really a Catholic, are you willing to take up a whip and whip the evildoers out of the church? And I really got inspired by that. And when I spoke to his producer and I said, I have this video, I think you're going to like it. It's me confronting this priest who was a predator. He said, yeah, that would be great. And I sent him the video, and he didn't respond back to me, which was strange because he always responded back to me within the same day. But I didn't get a response from him. I waited about a week. I wrote him and I said, hey, what happened? And he said, pretty much everyone in the studio at Church Militant wanted to play this video. There was only one guy who objected. He didn't give me his name, but I assumed that person is Michael Boris. But I felt a sense of betrayal there. And when I saw Boris talking to Milo, regardless of the fact that Milo has pushed pedophilia, and you're supposed to be a guy who's being militant against this sort of thing, yeah, I felt really bad about that. It really pissed me off.
When we talked about this the last time that I had you on, what was it, a couple of years ago now?
Last year we talked.
Last year. It seems longer than that. I don't know why.
It's, yeah.
But it almost makes you wonder if Voris, and I said this last year, if Voris hadn't gone back to his old ways. Because he said he's supposedly a former homosexual. But yeah. it makes you wonder.
I don't want to make any crazy assumptions, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, no, I can't say that that's true. I'm not saying that it is, but it's very suspicious that he turns you down of doing something that is right and righteous, but he has on a guy who he should already know is pushing pederasty, pedophilia, eugenics on top of that, saying some of the most disgusting, diabolical things you can think of.
Yeah.
But you're the problem.
Yeah.
There's no logic in that whatsoever.
No.
But yeah, I mean, Ted, I know definitely where you're coming from. I mean, I've never had the experiences that you've had to that level, but I know very well about betrayal. I mean, I have, lots of members in my family who now have gone to the dark side. I have, I guess if I want to get particular, I have an uncle who now refers to Christianity as a cult. Same with a cousin. A lot of my female well, not a lot, but a few of my female relatives now support abortion. They have their little gay friends that they're so defensive of.
Oh yeah.
I'm not. I'm not a Catholic, and of course you know that, but I do hold Catholicism in the biggest high regards. I'm actually Missouri Synod Lutheran, which I know there's more to it than this, but we're just essentially renegade Catholics.
Yeah, very similar.
But I actually got kicked off of an LCMS Facebook group because I spoke against homosexuality. Actually went heads up with a a pastor.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, excuse me, pastor, do you not know what the Bible says about this stuff? I mean, do you ever read Sodom and Gomorrah in your sermons, or Romans chapter 1, or the book of Luke where Jesus himself said, remember Lot's wife?
Wife, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's just amazing when you think you know people, and it's amazing how they can just turn just like that.
Oh yes. This is a phenomena that I have seen over the years. I've been seeing this since 2013. The phenomena of the gay friend is a really big one. I have a gay friend. I have a gay cousin. I have a gay whatever, and it's usually, and I don't want to make this about like war between the sexes. In a way, it kind of is, but it's usually women who are pushing this sort of idea of the gay. It's usually women who are pushing Sodom. It's sad for me to say that. I wish it wasn't the reality, but it's almost always women.
And of course, when I had Andrew on last year, and I did a 6-part thing with him. I think it's basically because they're men who act like women, and they don't have to worry about like reciprocation. I think that's how he put it.
Maybe.
I could be wrong. It was a while
women
ago.
Are just. I think a lot of women are just attracted to what is rebellious.
Yeah, that's safe to say. I mean, I've seen a lot of it. I cannot tell you how many arguments I've had with whether it be female friends, female family members, and they really have no logical argument. And
it's not logic. It's just some weird emotional thing.
And I'm like, and of course I present the same arguments that usually do get said a lot from our point of view. But the thing is, I never get an answer on them. I'll ask them like, okay, you think two guys sodomizing each other is perfectly normal? Well, what about incest or polygamy or any of that stuff? Never give me a straight answer. Never. But they'll call that disgusting though.
And the other thing is, I got into an argument recently with some woman from Australia. I did a video about it. I'll probably post it up soon, but she says that homosexuality, and it's hard for me to do the Australian accent. But
yeah,
it's like,
mate.
Homosexuality is normal or something. It's kind of like the British accent, but it's like slightly tweaked.
Yeah.
It's normal or whatever, and I said, no, it's not. Just like that. And she said, and the other thing about debating people, it's actually really good to give like 2 words. Sometimes it's very effective. It's like, no, it's not. But something so obvious, just be like, no, it's not. And she said, yes, it is. It's been here since the beginning of time. And I said, so has murder and homosexuality. And she said, well, now you're changing the subject. I said, no, I'm not. I'm simply challenging your logic that because something has been here since the beginning of time, that all of a sudden makes it normal.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
No, murder's not normal. Adultery's not normal. None of that stuff is normal.
And she said, and this was somebody who was an atheist, and she was also someone who looked up to Richard Dawkins.
Ugh.
And she said, I doubt anyone is making an argument for cannibalism. And I said,
yes.
Oh, really? Let me show you your friend Richard Dawkins. And I sent her the video, Richard Dawkins saying, yeah, cannibalism is perfectly fine. As long as it's as long as it's consensual.
Now, how can you consent with a dead person?
Well, according to Dawkins, the person would have to say before he dies, "I want you to eat me."
Okay, like in a will or something or whatever.
Yeah. And I gave her the video, and she says to me, "So what's your point?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, okay, you don't want to face reality." And she couldn't. I said, "These guys are Richard Dawkins and Peter Singer, who's an Australian atheist professor who also promotes cannibalism. They're both making a defense for cannibalism." I said, "So you said that no one is making a defense for cannibalism. Well, you're wrong. Here are two very prominent professors actually making an argument for cannibalism." And she's like, "Well, I have difficulty seeing your point." And it's like, "Well, no, you have difficulty facing reality."
Yeah,
See, and this is another example of someone being a slave to a narrative. The narrative is gay is normal, atheism is progressive and will bring about civilization. Religion will bring us down to primitiveness. When it's actually the exact opposite. Atheism will bring us down to primitiveness. Atheism will bring us down into acting like monkeys.
Yeah.
Because it teaches that we're monkeys. It teaches us essentially, Richard Dawkins said that we're simply apes with brains. That's what Dawkins said. So we're just going to act like monkeys. But you see, when people make an argument for homosexuality, they always will say, well, homosexuality, you're born with it. Well, actually, there's zero evidence to prove that. In fact, there was a very famous homosexual activist, I forgot his name, but he said that this idea that we are born gay is something that we entirely invented to make up a false narrative. He actually said this. It was just an argument that we made up. They're still trying to find a gay gene. They've never been able to find it. And they never will find it because it's impossible.
No, it doesn't exist. That's why.
Because we can even take the Darwinian argument and use it against them. We can say, well, since genes want to replicate, and we humans have this huge urge, all living things have a huge urge to procreate, homosexuality is actually contrary to nature. Because it's contrary to procreation.
Yeah, it is intrinsically wrong.
It's intrinsically wrong, yes. And then they're going to say, well, we've seen animals participate in homosexuality. And I can say, well, we have seen animals eat each other. So when you want to make an argument for cannibalism, let me know. But you see, all they're proving, and they are making arguments for cannibalism, and all they are proving is that the slippery slope logic is actually logical. You know how for years they said, oh, slippery slope, that's a fallacy. Because like Christians will say, well, if you allow gay marriage, then we're going to have to allow polygamy, we're going to have to allow... And then they say, well, that's slippery slope fallacy. That's a fallacy.
Bull crap.
But that's bull crap, because we're going down the slippery slope. Because once you say, well, homosexuality is normal because animals do it, well, then the next step is to say, well, cannibalism is okay because animals also do it.
Give it time. Bestiality might show up too.
Well, Peter Singer, the famous professor from Harvard, he made an argument for bestiality. As long as it's consensual and the animal is not being abused, it's completely okay according to him.
Oh my God in heaven.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to respond to that. That is just beyond disturbing.
There is no response to it. This is why, for years, I said the things I said about homosexuals. You know what I said. I don't have to say it.
Yeah. Because
there's no reasoning.
No, it's like, they always say, like, oh, I like the argument, too. They give, well, why would anybody choose this? But, like, very simple, because you like what you're doing.
It's very simple. It's because you're a degenerate.
Yeah, you're a degenerate. You like being a degenerate. You like doing what you're doing. So quit trying to make excuses for it.
Why do some people like jumping off of cliffs and with wires attached to them, even though it's so freaking dangerous? But it's like, you have people who are like, oh, I love skydiving. Well, that's you know what skydiving is? Skydiving is complete stupidity. Jumping off of a plane. You're not in the military. You're not in the military. Why are you doing this? Well, I love the adrenaline. You're crazy, is what it is.
And what if you pull your thing and your chute doesn't go? Guess what? You're dead.
You're dead. You know what? We're not going to lose anything if that happens. Society's not losing anything.
No, it's just one less.
If somebody dies in a, you can put this in the video. I don't care. If somebody dies in a, what do they call it? Jumping off of a plane. What do they call that? Diving, air diving, or whatever.
Skydiving.
If somebody dies in a skydiving accident, we have lost nothing in society.
Well, well, that's okay, Ted. Because I was gonna say that's just one less dumbass in the world. So, what I said was actually worse.
I don't care.
I know. I'm at the same point too, where I just and I thank you. I thank you and Andrew for this, and even your father. You know, you guys have given me so much inspiration to just not hold back, just talk, speak the truth, and not even give two shits about it. And
yeah.
So I mean, I've pissed some people off, but at this point I don't care, because as far as I'm concerned, if you support the nonsense, you support the stupidity and the degeneracy, then as far as I'm concerned, I don't want anything to do with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that even applies to the people that when we were talking about like the priests and all that. If I found out the pastor in my church was doing that kind of stuff, I'd be like, may God have mercy on your soul, but I'm getting the hell away from you.
I can't tell you how many. Well, now we're getting a little bit personal here, but I can't tell you how many dates I've lost over this issue. It's 100% fact. 100% fact. The number one reason why a girl has lost interest or doesn't want to talk to me is because I say, I don't say anything crazy. I just say, I don't agree with gay marriage.
Yep. You might as well make an alternative plan for that night. I had it happen once. I went out on a date. Her and I think we went to a park first, and that just to get to know each other. And we were talking about this stuff. I said the same thing. I'm like, yeah, I'm a strong Christian man, and I believe in one man, one woman marriage. She goes, well, you need to get with the times, Sean. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to go get the hell out of here while I'm at it.
You need to get with the times. You mean like 1000 BC when they were like sodomizing boys in the Greek bathhouses or something? Like, I mean, get with the times. Like, homosexuality has been here since forever. Like, what do you mean get? That means nothing. That doesn't mean jack.
See, get with the times. I'm going to repeat what I told you in our first interview. Get with the times would be something like get a brand new plasma screen TV and dump the old black and white set. Not saying that it's normal for two guys to go behind one another. How do I say this? How do I say this cleanly? Not going up the Hershey Highway.
Listen, get with the times is like throw out that piece of junk, thick ass TV you got from the early 2000s and get yourself one of those flat screen TVs that actually has some crisp, clear imagery.
Yes.
That's get with the times. Like throw that piece of junk that you see at the sports bar when you're eating pizza with your friends, you're watching the football game. Throw that crap out and get yourself a real nice, crisp television.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I will keep my original Nintendo, but I mean, still though.
I won't judge you for that, but yeah.
I have new systems too.
N64? You still got an N64?
I never had an N64. Actually,
the N64 back in the day.
Well, actually, my brother did, but I didn't.
I have a 360.
The newest system, you're gonna think I'm nuts. This is where I need to get with the times. The newest system I'm playing is a PlayStation 2.
Oh yeah.
It's
you
just
get with the times, buddy.
Well, it's just I want to get a new system. It's just it hasn't been a high priority. You know.
Oh, give me 1 second here. Hold on, give me 1 second. My cat is here. Hold on. Oh, let me show you my cat here. This is a black cat I have here. This is my kitty. Oh.
Did you ever name that cat?
Yeah, Nanny.
Nanny. Okay. Hey, Nanny, how you doing? I just remember you called her the Muslim cat initially.
Yeah. She's 9 years old. She's almost 10 years old now.
Wow.
She's old, yeah.
I'd show you one of my cats, but I didn't want them jumping up on me here, so they're all in the other room.
Yeah, she's. I've had her since she was a kitten. Her owner wanted to get rid of her. I saw the owner in front of the grocery store, and she was a kitten, and the owner wanted to get rid of her. She was only like at that time she was only about 9 weeks old.
Oh, that's not right.
Well, the owner was like, "Hey, I can't take care of this cat. Just take it for free." And
I thought you were saying that she just wanted to dump her on the streets.
No.
Okay.
No, she had a sign up saying "free cat."
Okay, my bad.
Yeah, that's fine. And I said okay, so I took the cat.
Yeah, one of the cats I have is a black. Black cats are awesome. I like them, but we have. Yeah, I have one. His name's Guinness because he looks just like a glass of Guinness stout. And he's actually the father with a gray mixed color one that we have that had 4 kittens a couple years ago.
One second here. My cat wants to get out of the room. Hold on a second. I gotta get this cat out of here. 1 second here.
That's all right.
It's okay. Okay. Yeah, the cat's gone now.
But yeah, so we got six cats out there. We found homes for all the kittens, but they all didn't work out. So we of course took them back. You know.
Oh, poor kitty.
They have a home. We treat them. I treat them well here. You know, my brother and I. But yeah, I mean, aside from all the cat talk and whatnot, yeah. So it's just safe to say that we have a crazy society that we live in. It's unbelievable how people just have all of a sudden called evil good.
Yes.
I don't know what else to say about it other than that.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But yeah, I mean, I will try to take you up on your advice and advance with a better game system.
I'm waiting for the new Xbox to come out.
Oh yeah, I didn't know they were coming out with another one. When's that supposed to happen?
It's be next year, I think. But I won't get it until it gets cheaper.
Yeah, I wouldn't get it when it's brand new.
Yeah.
So, I mean... Well, anyway, Ted, I don't really have anything else more for you. I mean, if there's anything else you want to add, you know...
No, I think good.
All right. Well, thank you.
Website, shoebot.com.
Yep. Go visit shoebot.com. Visit Ted's channel here on YouTube, Bash the Fash. I will make sure I have all these links posted below for you guys. And again, Ted, thank you, and on short notice too, for coming back on for a second time. It was great to have you.
Yeah, it was great to be on. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and also if you're ever interested, I do live streams on here. If that's something that you'd be wanting to do.
Man. I don't care.
Yeah, we could plan to do that sometime if you're down for it. Hell, we could get Andrew in. We could have a Knights of the Round Table kind of thing.
Okay, yeah, sounds like fun.
Because I think StreamYard lets you have up to 9 people. I could be wrong on that though.
Yeah, there's a lot of people you can get on.
So, well, anyway, on that note, for Theodore Shoebat, I am ND Sean 45. I say to all of you, God bless, and Ted, God bless to you as well, my friend.